الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. We continue our study of the last section, which is about conflict between two sets of resources, evidence, or two hadiths, for example, two texts. As you remember, we said sometimes this conflict is easily fixed. So there's no really ta'arud, there's no really conflict. It's a matter of initial conflict, but it's not remaining. Because we have a way which is easy to understand to put them together. There is a common sense solution here. But sometimes, no, there is no way to understand what is meant. You can fix the problem by your own ideas, but this is not helpful. We said it shouldn't be jam' tabarru'i, something that you voluntarily do. It must be something based on evidence. So, with respect to those conflicts which are not remaining, which can soon be fixed, at-ta'arud ghayrul mustaqir, it's not remaining, it's not something that is enduring. We said there are 5 types. Ulama al-Usul have tried to exhaust them, and they have listed 5 things that you can easily solve the problem of initial conflict. One is at-takhassus. The other one was al-wurud, al-hukuma, at-takhsis, wa taqdeem al-adhhar ala al-zahir. I explained them quickly, but now we go into details and we explain them in this session one by one. So, first, at-takhassus. Takhassus is related to takhsis, but the difference is that takhassus is something that happens by itself. Takhsis is something that you have to do it. So takhassus means something is out by itself. Takhsis means something was included and you exclude it. Yeah. So takhsis is transitive. Takhassus intransitive. Takhassus is lazim. So, for example, when Shari' says, Al-Khamru haramun, Khamr, wine is haram. Then another hadith says, Al-Khallu halalun, vinegar is halal. Someone may say, there is a conflict, but you realize no, there is no conflict. This is not a real conflict that remains in the mind, because we know that vinegar is not part of wine. Okay, so we say takhassusan is out, means by itself is out. So at-takhassusu huwa khuruju mawdu'i ahad ad-dalilain an mawdu' ad-dalil al-akhar. The subject of one dalil, like one hadith, the subject is outside, falls outside the realm of the subject of the other dalil. Haqiqatan, really, as a matter of reality, existentially, takwinan. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to intervene as a legislator for example, to have something extra. Al-khamru haram. This is one dalil. For example, we have a hadith says al-khamru haram. Wine is haram. Another says al-khallu halal. Vinegar is halal. So, al-mahmulan, the predicates, what are the predicates? Haram and halal. Yeah? Al-mahmulan, predicates, halal and haram. وَإِنْ كَانَ مُتَنَافِيَيْنَ, they are conflicting. One is halal, one is haram. But because they have belonged to two subjects which have nothing to do with each other, there is no problem. Because khal is not included in vinegar, in wine, in khamr. Al-mahmulan wa in kana mutanafiyain walakin at-tanafiya baynahuma badawiyun yazulu bin-nazar ila taghayur al-mawdu'ain. They have a little conflict, but this is initial. It's badawi means it's initial, and with reflection, nazar, I mean by looking at difference between subjects, it's removed. Yazulu means it's removed, it expires, it finishes. That pseudo conflict is just something temporary, something initial, and you realize that two subjects are different, so no problem. Yes.
But it seems like there is no conflict. الخمر حلال حرام الخمر حرام والخل حلال. There is no conflict anyway.
Yeah. If someone thinks it's a conflict, because, for example, he doesn't know what does khal mean, or thinks maybe khal is part of that, we say no problem. It's just very temporary, very quick, and then it goes away. This is the easiest of them. Second, al-wurud. Al-wurud. وهو رفع أحد الدليلين موضوع الدليل الآخر حقيقة لكن بعناية من الشارع. One of the two dalil, one of the two, for example, hadiths that you have, removes the subject of the other one really, but not existentially, because of something that Shari, the lawmaker, the legislator, has done. And if it was not because of that intervention of the Shari, this was not sorted out. بحيث لولا means لو لم يكن, this inaya from Shari, if Shari was not doing this intervention, the problem was still there. Like what? For example, we have amara and we have usul amaliyah. What is amara? Amara is when you have a dalil that produces dhan, yeah, but that dhan is acceptable. So there is a kind of dhan, a kind of probability more than 50%. But for example, it is through khabar wahid. It is through testimony of two witnesses. So this is valid. So Shari' has given validity to this one. So this becomes amara. You say it's amara. This amara is stopping execution or implementation of usul amaliyah. For example, قاعدة البراءة قبح العقاب بلا بيان. If there is amara for something, then we say بلا bayan is no longer applicable because there is bayan. Although that bayan is amara And amara is not really by itself knowledge, but shari' has recognized it as bayan. So by intervention of shari', amara becomes bayan, and then automatically stops qubhul iqab bila bayan. So the difference between this and the previous one was that in the previous one, shari' didn't do anything, didn't have any intervention. Shari' just said, al-khamru haramun, al-khallu halalun, and we know existentially khal and khamr are separate. But here, who is making amara valid? It's shari'. Or maybe it is, for example, benai uqala, but shari' has to endorse it. If shari' endorses also benai uqala, that's fine. Like khabar, if you say khabar wahid is accepted by uqala and shari' has endorsed it. So please look at the text. If you have question after that, I will explain. But maybe it will clarify your question. Al-wurud huwa raf'u ahad ad-dalilain mawdu' ad-dalil al-akhar. One of the two references removes the subject of the other one. Means doesn't let the other one apply because its subject is finished. But this happens bi'inayatin min ash-shari', with intervention. Inaya means shari' has to do something. With intervention, I translate intervention not because inaya means intervention, means with an action of the shari', means intervention here. بحيث لولا, had it not been that shari' is doing something, لما كان له هذا الشأن, the other dalil was not able to remove the subject of this dalil. Okay? It's because of shari'. كتقدم الأمارة على الأصول العملية. Amara precedes practical principles. Why? Because each of practical principles have a subject. إن لكل من الأصول العملية موضوعا خاصا, has its own subject. الأمارة بعد ثبوت حجيتها بالأدلة القطعية ترفع موضوع تلك الأصول. Amara, after being proved that it is valid, we have decisive. Amara doesn't produce certainty, but we are certain about its validity. Okay? So we have decisive reasons that Amara is valid. So after those proofs that we have, Amara is able to remove the subject of all Usul Amaliyah. Because all of them is based on doubt, shak, and lacking knowledge, lacking bayan. Amara says there is no shak. مثلا موضوع البراءة العقلية هو عدم البيان. The subject for rational exemption is lacking bayan. There is no explanation. قبح العقاب بلا بيان. موضوع الاشتغال الاشتغال اليقيني يستدعي الفراغ اليقيني. What is the subject for قاعدة اشتغال? When there is possibility of punishment. But if Amara says this is what Shari wants from you, then you have no worry about punishment. وموضوع التخيير هو عدم المرجح. There is no مرجح. Amara gives tarjih to some part, to one side. فإذا قام الدليل القطعي على حجية الأمارة, when you have decisive reason for validity of Amara, ارتفع بذلك. By that, the subject of asl, means asl amali, like bara'a or ishtighal or takhir, will be removed. فَتَكُونُ الْأَمَارَةُ بَيَانًا لِمَوْرِدِ الشَّاكِ. Amara becomes bayan for where there is doubt. Or we remove probability of punishment in asalatul ishtighal. Or becomes preference for one side. So there is no need for takhir. Because takhir is when both sides are equal. Kullu dhalika. All these things happen. Why? How amara is overriding bara'a or ishtighal or takhir? With intervention of shara. By shara giving validity to it. In the case of khal, shara didn't need to do anything. Yeah, automatically khal and khamr are separate. But it is validity that shara is giving to amara that makes amara override usul amaliyah. كل ذلك بفضل جعل الشارع الحجية للأمارة. All this happens that amara precedes bara'a, precedes ishtighal, precedes takhir, because shara is making it valid.
Is there an example?
These are all examples.
I don't understand.
So when there is a hadith which says, for example, khabar wahid, which says that you must do this, you cannot then apply qubul iqab ila bayan, say, I have no knowledge. We say this khabar wahid is bayan, you have to follow it. Otherwise there would be no point in validity of khabar wahid. If you are going to always apply bara'ah, so khabar wahid becomes useless.
What do you mean by bayan, please?
Bayan means explanation. Bayan, yes.
Sheikh, I'm surprised that they brought this here because bayan, like al-amara is dhanniya sudur, and we have a qat'i which makes it valid. But in usul amaliya you mentioned
Zanniya sudur, but its hujjiyah is qat'i.
indeed, which is what makes it valid. But in the case of usul amaliya, there is no bayan in the first place. So where is the ta'arud? There is precedence for al-amara over any sort of usul amaliya because you have a bayan. Where is the ta'arud? Where is the conflict that we're resolving? It seems that usul amaliya are completely irrelevant in this case.
Yeah, because one may say, whenever you don't know, you don't have knowledge, then you do bara'ah. We say no. Whenever you don't have knowledge, or whenever you don't have something that Shari' recognizes as knowledge. So it's not just having no knowledge. If Shari' recognizes as knowledge, that's also fine. After Maghrib. Yes.
I'm sorry to ask a question. Could you tell us what al-amara means?
Amara means, literally means sign.
Sorry.
But we mean by amara those references, those dalils, which are known to be valid, but they don't produce certainty. So their validity is certain, but their indication is not certain. They produce a dhan mu'tabar, valid dhan. Okay? Okay. وبذلك يظهر ورود الأمارة على أصالة الطهارة والحلية. We have أصالة الطهارة. Means كل شيء طاهر حتى تعلم أنه قذر. Or أصالة الحلية. كل شيء لك حلال حتى تعرف أنه حرام. Amara precedes this also, overrides this. Why? Because حتى تعلم حتى تعلم really is yaqeen. But by the intervention of Shari', Amara is accepted also as ilm. So if you have Amara, it's also accepted. For example, if two people say that we bear witness that this is the case, then you have to accept it. Or if it is in ahkam, one adil, when he reports something, khabar wahid is hujjah. So you cannot say, I don't have knowledge. You say, yes, you don't have knowledge literally, but technically, practically, Shara has recognized this as knowledge. Okay? So بذلك يظهر ورود الأمارة على أصالة الطهارة والحلية. Amara واردٌ على أصالة means it proceeds, it overrides, it's more, powerful than primordiality of tahara or haliyah. Why? Because أصالة الطهارة وأصالة الحلية لأنهما, huma means what? Huma means أصالة الطهارة وأصالة. These two مغيات, they have غاية. What is the غاية? حتى. They have غاية, there is an end. End is to have knowledge. So before you have knowledge, you do this. But when you have knowledge, you cannot say it's halal. كل شيء لك حلال حتى تعلم. So there is an end for it. So both of them are مغيات. They are limited by having no knowledge. If you have knowledge, no asalatul hiliyah, no asalatul tahara can help you. وَالْمُرَادُ مِنْهُ. So what is knowledge? Is knowledge 100% yaqeen? No. We said it's not only that. That is knowledge, but Shara says Amara is also valid. Al-Muradu minhu huwa al-hujjiyatu al-shar'iyyah. Religious proof. Fal-amaratu bima annaha hujjatun shar'iyyah. Because Amara is a religious proof, is valid religiously. Dallatun ala husul al-ghaya. So it indicates that the end for asalatul haliyah has happened, has actualized. The end for asalatul tahara has actualized. Dallatun ala husul al-ghaya. في قوله عليه السلام كل شيء طاهر حتى تعلم أنه قذر وكل شيء حلال حتى تعلم أنه haram. So ta'lam is there. Are you really now in the possession of ilm? With the intervention of Shara. Shara accepted Amara as ilm. I think it's clear now, yeah? So you understand the difference between wurud and takhassus. Takhassus, like khal and khamr. Khal is really excluded. But here, it's not really excluded from ilm or adamul ilm. We understand it through sharia, through Shara's intervention. What is hukuma? Hukuma is something similar to takhsis and similar to wurud, but still different. So it has similarity with takhsis and similarity with wurud. I told you the example. For example, we know that when we want to say our prayer, we should make wuzu. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. This is for what? Salat. إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة. Okay? But then we have a dalil, a hadith for example, which says التواف صلاة. Tawaf is also salat. What does it mean?
So you have to do wudu.
it means that for tawaf also you have to make wudu. So, is tawaf really salat? No. Is tawaf recognized as salat? No. Just Shara wants to tell us you have to treat it in the same way that you treat salat. So he's not saying that tawaf is to be put under title of salat. It's different from amara. Amara becomes really hujjah. Becomes a proof. But tawaf doesn't become salat. Just, it's a matter of saying that practically you treat it as you treat salat. And the main difference is, they say, hakim, the dalil, which is hakim, which says at-tawafu salatun, shows it's oversighting, or it's, not oversighting, it's overseeing, or it's reflecting on the other one. Nadhiratun means it's referring to that one. So it's not said in vacuum or separately, independently. It is said as a kind of modification or something to be considered along with the other one. Okay? Shara is aware that you know what you have to do about salat, and then he says, treat this like salat. Al-hukuma. So this hukuma doesn't mean government. It's not government. The reason they say hukuma is because this dalil is hakimun ala, means this override. It's,
It means overriding.
overriding. أن يكون أحد الدليلين ناظرا إلى الدليل الآخر. One of the two dalil, one of the two resources that we have, evidence that we have, ناظرا means, if you want to translate literally, means looks at the other one. But this doesn't mean looks at the other one. Means it's referring to other one. Yeah, it tries to clarify something about the other one. وَمُفَسِّرًا لَهُ, as I said, tries to clarify, to interpret the other one. So Shara knows that you know the other one and now wants to explain something about that. فَيُقَدَّمُ عَلَى الْآخَرِ. This one, which is at-tawaf salatun, tries to explain something about the other one and will be given preference over the other one. Why? بحكم أن له تلك الخصوصية, because it has this characteristic that it is interpreting the other one. يسمى الناظر, the dalil which is naظir, which refers to other one, is called hakim, and the other one is called mahkum. Hakim is the one which overrides, the other one is overridden, it's mahkum. He says, look at these examples. Yes.
Sheikh, I would have thought that the salah would have been the hakim, because it is actually the stronger one, where this one must refer to. It's a bit surprising that they call the tawaf as hakim over salah.
At-tawaf salatun is hakim.
Yes, but shouldn't the verse actually be the hakim? Because
No, because that verse doesn't talk about this.
yes, but this is being referred to that, as in referred to, so it is sort of under that verse.
Yeah.
Hakim is
But
over
which
that.
dalil is taking into account the other one? This one. The other one is silent about tawaf. But this one is not silent about the other one. This one is trying to actually say something about the other one.
Yes, expression should.
Yeah. So it means this clarifies the other one. Okay, this by itself has 4 types. If someone is not yet confused, Hopefully now can get. Okay. So there are 4 types of hukuma. Okay? We are not talking about politics, not government. Hukuma, as we said, means one dalil is looking at the other one and trying to clarify what the other one means. But the other one is silent about this one. So, sometimes hakim, the dalil which is hakim and overrides, expands the subject. Do you know aqdul wad' and aqdul hamd in logic? Aqdul wad', aqdul hamd. So when you have subject and predicate, for example, you say Zaydun qa'imun or al-khamru haramun. Zayd, subject, qa'im is predicate. Khamr, subject, haram, predicate. Waz and mawdu and mahmud. So there is something about mawdu, we call it aqdul wad'. There is something about mahmud, we call it aqdul haml. So sometimes hakim comes to change the situation about subject, sometimes changes the situation about mahmul, predicate. So there are 2 possibilities. Is it trying to tell us something about subject or about predicate? And in each case, is it telling us that we should expand or we should narrow down? Is it tawsi' or tadyiq? So either tawsi' or tadyiq, and then either in subject or predicate, it becomes 4. So hakim either expands or restricts and narrows down. Then this expansion or narrowing down is either about subject or about predicate. So you have 4 types. Okay? So, التصرف في عقد الوضع بتوسيع. A kind of manipulation. Manipulation not in a bad sense. Manipulation can be used in a good sense, yeah? You manipulate means you change. In English, cannot be said in good sense? You can, yeah? So you change it, you intervene on the side of subject, but betawsi'ihi. You expand, you extend the scope of subject. For example, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق. So this is all about salat. So it says, for salat you have to make wuzu. Al-mutabadiru min as-salah huwa al-fariza. What comes to our mind from salat is fariza, means salatul fariza. Means salat al-faiz, zuhr. Or even salat al-mustahab, because that is also in need of wuzu. But we mean salat in the sense of namaz, ritual prayer. But then, if you add to this hadith, قوله عليه السلام, التواف بالبيت salatun. Doing tawaf of Kaaba is salat. This second dalil, التواف بالبيت salatun, يكون حاكما على الآية. This clarifies something about the ayah. How? What does it do? It expands the subject, because that one was a ruling about salat. Now we are expanding salat so that it includes tawaf. Okay? So whatever we said about salat would be extended to tawaf. Okay?
It's doing the tasarruf.
It's tasarruf. If someone doesn't understand what we are saying, they think we are, mad, but we are not mad. These are very technical issues, but someone said, salat is tawaf, what these people are doing in London.
Shaykhna, when we say, for example, al-tawafu salatu,
Yes.
so we are including it in the subject of the rules that apply to salah.
Yes.
Which ones? All of the rules that apply to salah, only the wudu, how do we specify?
As much as we don't have extra reason to exclude. So, when we say at-tawafu bil bayt salatun, it seems they are similar in everything unless it is excluded. For example, we know that the number of ashwat in tawaf and number of rakat are not the same. We know that. So, at-tawafu bil bayt salatun, this hadith yakunu hakiman ala al-ayah, this will be overriding or will be clarifying the ayah. How? بتوسيع موضوعها, by expanding the subject of the ayah, which was salat. ببيان أن الطواف على البيت من مصادق الصلاة, by saying that tawaf of Kaaba is one of the instances of salat. So, with the intervention of Shari', salat is expanded to include tawaf. But you know that we are not really meaning that tawaf is salat. It's different from wurud. In wurud, we are making amara really bayan. But here we know that tawaf is not salat. We understand that Shara doesn't want to say, consider tawaf as salat. It's just for practical reasons that we say like that. أن الطواف على البيت من مصادق الصلاة فيشترط فيه ما يشترط في الصلاة. So whatever is conditioned in salat should be also considered and observed for tawaf. ومثله قوله, let us give you another example. قوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم لا صلاة إلا بالطهور. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there is no salat without tahur. What does it mean? It means without taharat ma'i, without wuzu or ghusl, there is no salat. الظاهرة في شرطية الطهارة المائية. الظاهر, if it was الظاهر was better because we said قوله. Okay, so قوله الظاهر. If it was riwayah, we said الظاهرة. This hadith has a zuhur in what? In that taharat ma'iyah is condition. You should have tahara with, because tahur means tahara with water. فكأنه قال الطهور شرط للصلاة. Whether you say this is a condition or you say لا صلاة إلا بالطهور, makes the same meaning. Then if he says التراب أحد الطهورين, soil is also one of the two things that can make tahara. This is expansion. Because tahur is, alhamdulillah, ja'al al-ma'a tahura. Ma is tahur. But now it's expanded to include turab, which we use for tayammum. Okay? فإذا قال, if he says التراب أحد الطهورين فقد وسع الموضوع, he has expanded the subject, which is tahur, إلى الطهارة الترابية, to include tahara which is done by soil, means tayammum. هذا النوع من التصرف في عقد الوضع لا يتم إلا ادعاءً. This is just a kind of, not really changing. It's just we claim, we assume that this is also tahur. Like we assume that tawaf is salat. كالدعاء أن الطواف أو التيمم صلاة أو طهور. These are two sentences, but he has combined them. Means كالدعاء أن الطواف صلاة أو الدعاء أن التيمم طهور. Okay? So this was changing in the side of subject by expansion. We can do again change in subject but by narrowing down. No, you say for salat you need tahara.
Yeah.
Then for tahara you can have water or you can have soil.
Yeah.
Then whatever happens with this automatically can be said about tawaf.
So even if turab was being made as a hukuma over water, the end result would be that because these are tahur, then they apply to Hajj as well in this case.
Yes.
So,
So second, التصرف في عقد الوضع بتضييقه, by narrowing down this side of the subject.
So the first was expansion.
Yes.
Now it's narrow.
Yes. ويتحقق ذلك بنفي الموضوع. Sometimes we deny, instead of affirming and recognizing, now we deny something which was really part of it, but we don't, accept, we deny it. لغاية نفي حكومة, for the reason, for a purpose. What is the purpose? To remove its ruling. For example, we have hadith about what you should do when you have doubt in your salat. Okay? For example, you have doubt in the number of raka'at, other things. Then one hadith comes and says, لا شك لكثير الشك. This is quite opposite to saying at-tawafu salatun. Because at-tawafu salatun, we were expanding salat to include tawaf. La shakka fi kathir shak, we are narrowing down shak. Means whatever we said about shak would not apply to a person who is frequent doubter. Can I say doubter?
Habitual doubters.
Pardon?
Habitual doubters.
Habitual doubters or frequent. So, لا شك لكثير الشك, or لا شك للإمام مع حفظ المأموم. If Ma'mum knows the number of rak'ah and Imam is in doubt, Imam should follow Ma'mum or vice versa. Therefore, the rulings that we have for shak would not apply here. Because here, we are saying that you have no actually shak. You have to suppose that there is no shak. We have fixed the problem and you have no shak.